heart would come out of her mouth because of the joy she felt hearing the prince's words. Never, in a million years, did she think a prince would fall for her, let alone his handsomeness and the fact that he was the man of her dreams. She thought to herself, "Am I dreaming? Is it real?"
Welcome to African Stories by Mandy. Thanks for stopping by. Let's explore the beautiful love story of Lyla and Prince Alaric. This is how their love began. After a few months, Lyla initially rejected the prince, and the prince tarnished her good reputation in response.
As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Prince Alaric found himself haunted by the memory of Lila's unwavering spirit and the grace with which she had faced his arrogance. Despite his initial anger and pride, a seed of doubt began to sprout within him, prompting him to question the path he had chosen. The path that only brought him sadness instead of happiness and satisfaction. He questioned the value of wealth he possessed.
Is wealth more important than humility? Can I be only satisfied by wealth, or there is more to life?
He questioned himself. Alone in his chambers, surrounded by the trappings of wealth and power, Prince Alaric found himself consumed by a sense of emptiness that no amount of riches could fill. It was then that he realized the true extent of his folly and the depth of the hurt he had caused Lyla and those who loved her. Determined to make amends for his actions, Prince Alaric embarked on a journey of self-discovery, seeking wisdom and guidance from those who had walked the path of humility and compassion before him. He spent hours in meditation and reflection, pondering the lessons of kindness and empathy that Lyla had taught him through her example. He realized how Lyla would fit to be a queen of the village. He saw how the village would prosper as a result of a kind queen like Lyla. Lyla had made him realize his arrogance and ultimately changed him. She is the woman every man would want to be with. With each passing day, Prince Alaric felt the walls of arrogance and pride that had once surrounded his heart begin to crumble, replaced by a newfound sense of humility and empathy. He reached out to those he had wronged, offering heartfelt apologies and making amends wherever possible. But it was to Lyla that his thoughts turned most often, her image lingering in his mind like a beacon of hope in the darkness. He knew that he had hurt her deeply with his words and actions, and he longed for the opportunity to seek her forgiveness and prove himself worthy of her love. And so, with a resolve as strong as steel, Prince Alaric set out once more for the humble village where Lyla dwelled, his heart filled with a determination to make things right. He arrived not with the pomp and grandeur of a prince, but with the humility of a man who had learned the true value of compassion and kindness. As he stood before Lyla, his eyes filled with remorse and sincerity, he poured out his heart in a fervent plea for forgiveness. He acknowledged his mistakes and the pain he had caused her, vowing to make amends and to spend the rest of his days proving himself worthy of her love. And though Lila's heart bore the scars of his past transgressions, she saw the sincerity in his eyes and the genuine remorse in his words. She liked the fact that this time around he came as a humble man, not an arrogant prince who thinks of her as one of his many possessions. She hated men who think of women as their possessions, not partners. She always dreamt of having a man who sees her values and respects her. Someone who will appreciate her and treat her like the princess she believes she is. So when he saw the change in Prince Alaric, she was impressed and started to fall in love with him. For the first time, he noticed how extremely handsome the prince was. She could not resist his handsomeness. So she told him he had forgiven him long ago because she does not hold grudges that would burden her at the end of the day.
After all, my parents taught me the importance of forgiveness. Yes, forgiving is not easy, I admit it, but it is necessary and good for a person.
Prince Alaric was blown away by her wisdom. As a result, he fell hard for her. He almost cried, but didn't because he remembered that men do not cry the teachings of his dad, King Oluoma. All he wanted was to wake up next to Lyla and see her every day of his life. Suddenly, life without Lyla was not completely for him. His wealth was surprisingly not enough for him anymore. Lyla was all he longed for, after God of course. So he told Lyla how he felt about her and his wishes to make her his wife. Lyla felt like her heart would come out of her mouth because of the joy she felt hearing the prince's words. Never, in a million years, did she think a prince would fall for her, let alone his handsomeness and the fact that he was the man of her dreams. She thought to herself, "Am I dreaming? Is it real?" It was obvious to the prince that Lyla loved him back as he was watching her after his confession. He then asked her if she would allow him to speak with her parents. Lyla agreed without hesitation. So they went to Lyla's house. Villagers were surprised to see her walking with a prince after what the prince had done following his rejection. The prince and Lyla arrived at Lyla's home and surprised Lyla's parents. They were not expecting to see the prince after what he had done. Yes, he was respected and powerful, but what he did was not acceptable. No one dared to punish him or even go against him by revealing his lies. Nevertheless, they welcomed the prince and talked with them. The prince started by apologizing for his behavior and then told them about his wish to marry Lyla. Again, Lyla's parents were shocked by what the prince said. Lyla's father replied,
"Thanks for being humble enough to apologize, my prince. Who are we not to forgive you? I must say, every girl in this village dreams of marrying a prince. To be wanted by a prince is a blessing. And we thank the Almighty for it. We do not have a We would be honored to have you as our son-in-law. But Lyla must agree to marry you, and then you two can marry."
Lyla's father told the prince. Lyla replied shyly,
I wish to marry him too.
Everyone smiled joyfully. Since both Lyla and the prince wanted the marriage, there was no need for waiting. Lyla was a 21-year-old young woman who was more than ready for marriage, at least for now. Prince was not young himself. He was 31 years old. 10 years older than Lyla, but still perfect for her. So the marriage date was set to be the following Saturday. After staying for over an hour, Prince Alaric had to go back to the palace, so he was off to go. Lyla walked out with him and said her goodbyes. The day went by quickly. The waiting was finally over for Lyla and Prince Alaric. It was Saturday, the day of their marriage. In the quaint village where their love story blossomed, Prince Alaric and Lyla exchanged vows in a simple yet beautiful ceremony, surrounded by the warmth and love of their friends and family. Under the shade of a sprawling oak tree, with petals of white roses scattered at their feet, they pledged their lives to each other, their voices trembling with emotion as they spoke the words that would bind them together forever. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting hues of orange and gold across the sky, the newlyweds stole away to a secluded cottage on the outskirts of the village, their hearts brimming with joy and anticipation. It was here, amidst the tranquil beauty of the countryside, that they would begin their journey as husband and wife. In the days that followed, Prince Alaric and Lyla embarked on a honeymoon unlike any other, exploring the picturesque landscapes that surrounded their village and basking in the simple pleasures of each other's company. They wandered hand in hand through fields of wildflowers, their laughter mingling with the songs of birds in the air, and shared intimate moments beneath the canopy of stars, their hearts overflowing with love and gratitude. It was during one such evening, as they sat side by side beneath the velvet sky, that Lyla found the courage to share a secret she had kept hidden in her heart. With a blush staining her cheeks and a tremble in her voice, she confessed to Prince Alaric that she was a virgin, her innocence, a precious gift she had saved for the man she would marry. Prince Alaric's heart swelled with love and reverence as he listened to her words, his eyes shining with tears of joy. At that moment, he felt like the luckiest man in the world, blessed to have found a wife whose purity and devotion knew no bounds. With tender care and gentle affection, Prince Alaric cradled Lyla in his arms, whispering words of love and adoration as they shared a night of passion unlike any other. And as the first light of dawn painted the sky in shades of pink and gold, they lay entwined in each other's arms, their hearts united in a love that would endure for eternity. Will they live a happy life together as a husband and wife? Subscribe so that you won't miss out. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something from it, just as I have myself. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share what you liked about this part of the story. Feel free to also share the video with your friends and family. Bye. Have a beautiful and productive